Hey, this is Knife Standards. Today I'm going to be doing my full review of one of my Koenig Ariuses? I'm doing my full review of the Koenig Arius. I have two other ones, which I know it's crazy, but this is an incredible knife. I will get into all of that in just a second. There's a cool story behind this particular one. This is my first one, and we'll go ahead and talk about that in just a second. First, please follow me at Knife Standards. You can follow me on Instagram, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel for a lot more knife content and weekly knife reviews. All right, cool. So this is my first knife from Koenig, my first Arius. This is kind of the plain Jane, no milling, plain Jane scales, and then we have the blue anodized hardware, pivot, and back spacer. For the blade, got some satin flats going on, and looks like a light stone washed, kind of like a blasted finish. Stone washed, blasted? I don't know. But this knife, so I was trying to get an Arius for a while, and I was determined to get one direct, you know, either from Koenig or from a retailer or a dealer. I was trying to avoid, for no particular reason, I'm just a weirdo. I was trying to avoid the secondary for my first Arius. And there were a few that popped up on Knife Swap, and I was kind of eyeing them, and the prices were okay, and you know, but I was determined to get a brand new one for my first one. And I went to California Custom Knife Show back in, I guess it was October? I don't know. It was months ago. This video is long overdue, but I did like a kind of a summary overview video of my experience at California Custom Knife Show, and it's kind of a crazy story, at least for me, I don't know, about getting this knife. So I'll go ahead and just give you guys the cliff notes. I got there fairly early. You know, people are lined up since like 4 a.m. or even earlier. So there were three. There were three or, well, four. I don't know, the fourth one I don't care about, but there were like two or three booths and makers that were getting a lot of hype. And one of them was Koenig, the other one was Oz Machine Company. And then also Strider and a couple of other ones, whatever, that I'm not into. But Koenig and Oz Machine Company were the kind of the big, hyped up, the big players at this CCKS. And I knew that Oz Machine Company, of course I wanted both. I don't have a Roosevelt yet, and I didn't have an Arius. So I was like, oh, I need to get both. I want both, but I can only stand in line for one, because basically you get to pick. You kind of make a break for one of the tables that you want, and if you get there early enough, you have a good chance. But it's first come, first serve for the most part for Oz Machine Company and for Koenig. So I picked Koenig because Oz only had, I didn't know how many knives Koenig had. I assumed they had a decent amount, and Oz only had, I think, like 40 knives, and I was like, I'm not top 40 in line, I could tell. So, and I didn't have anyone to proxy for me. I didn't go with a big group of people or anything. So I made a break for it, straight for the Koenig line. It was a decently sized line. I was a little bit surprised. It was a little bit longer than I thought. I got in line, and man, was it stressful. You kind of see the countdown, and you see all the boxes on the table. You know, you see here. Although they didn't have this particular box, they were the white cardboard, kind of like the plain boxes that they were using. I think they had a supply shortage, whatever. But they had the boxes. They're sitting on the Koenig table, and one by one, you see them disappear, and the pile gets smaller, and the stack gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And I was making my way closer to the table. I'm like, oh, no big deal. There's going to be plenty. I'm definitely going to get in areas. I'm set. And they had some really crazy ones too. They had I think a copper carbon fiber one. I think they also had was that the DLC blade? I don't know, they had a DLC one, some cool configurations. And I was like, well, if I don't get one of those, that's no big deal. But I want a, plain Jane, just a regular one. Of course, this is my favorite color, blue. So I was hoping for some kind of blue in the accents. Anyway, so I see there's 5 knives left, 4 knives left, and I'm counting the people in front of me. And basically, I get to the front. Literally, the last knife on the table was this guy. Literally, the last box, last knife. And it's funny, I posted the CCKS overview experience video, and then someone commented and said, "Hey man, I was the guy in front of you," because there's this guy with a beard in front of me, so he recognized me, not recognized me in person, but recognized the story from the video, and then left a comment. So that was pretty cool. Anyway, I got it. Literally the last one. I was super stressed, so I got the knife, and then I walked around a little bit. I was like, oh, and then I just booked it. I was like, I came. Got what I wanted, and then I was out. Now, because this is the first Koenig that I've handled, first I went to go middle finger flick it, and it is stiff. Now, this is an unbelievable knife. I mean, it's the fit, the finish, the machining, little brief interaction I had with customer service. I mean, everything is just like excellent. I mean, so good. I love this knife. That's why I have 3 of them now, and I'm going to be doing reviews, or at least quick little videos on all 3, because they are all different. And but yeah, I wanted to do this one first because this is my first Arius. So the detent on this is pretty stiff, and I didn't really realize that wasn't normal for Koenig or for an Arius until I got my second one, and the detent is perfect, so comfortable and crispy on the second and third one that I got, actually. And this is the only one that was stiff. So I was thinking about it, and I came to I don't know, I'm just winging it here, but I came to the conclusion that they stiffened up the detent. I don't think it was an accident. I think they stiffened this up because it was one of the ones on the table, and people are going to be flipping it and kind of playing with it. So they didn't want it to, because the detents tend to loosen up a touch and kind of break in over time. So that's my theory. I have no proof of that or whatever, but with the flipper tab, it rockets out. It's just the middle finger flick is a little bit tough, a little bit stiff. So that is my only critique. And another critique I have is at the booth, at the table, they were letting people buy one of each variation. So there were like 3 or 4 or 5 guys that were buying one plain Jane, one carbon fiber, one that, that's kind of, I mean, I get it. And yeah, if you're first in line, of course you want to have your pick. But, if you're 19th in line, like, I feel bad for the guy behind me. I got the last one, and the guy behind me didn't get it. I don't know. You stand in line all that time. I know there has to be a last person in line, but I don't know. It should be, I feel like it should be 1 per person or 2 per person, two knives per person, something like that, some kind of limit, so they don't all get purchased before, the line was like, I don't know, 12 people deep or something when I got in there. Anyway, so let's go to talk about the knife. I know that was a long story time, but I think that, I don't know, I think it's a cool story. So now let's go ahead and talk blade steel, fit, finish. These are expertly machined, no sharp edges, nothing pokey. We'll talk ergos in a second, but of course, titanium scales. It is a frame lock. It has the cutout so you can middle finger flick it. I actually have not tried to. Ooh, yeah. I don't know who would do that, but the thumb roll is not working out. Probably because of the lock bar pressure. Anyway, I don't know. I've never seen anyone try a thumb roll with the Arius, but I thought I would just embarrass myself on video for you guys trying it. So wait, you know what? Hold on. I should be able to do that. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. So it works. You just have to be aware of the frame. I mean the frame, the lock bar. Okay, so flipper tab, great. Middle finger flick, a little bit stiff, but those are the two main methods of deployment. Of course, yes, we just discovered, oh, crap. Come on, bro, let's go. Hey, there we go. Yeah, so I would not recommend the thumb roll. Not the best for the Arius. Now, they come in a ton of different variations. One of the ones I've been eyeing, especially on the secondary, is the carbon fiber scale. So it has, I've actually seen a few different carbon fiber ones, but carbon fiber, ooh, I've been eyeing it. Someone talked me out of it. Now, let's go ahead and do a quick size comparison, and we'll go ahead and get the VBR, which is actually smaller than the Arius, which is, I don't know, I don't think of the Arius as a large knife, but it definitely is. It's like deceivingly large. And let's go ahead and bust out the, what do we have here? Let's go ahead and do the Quiet Carry Drift, which has been kind of my go-to size comparison because it has that really nice 3 inches on the blade, about 7 overall. Let's go ahead and see where the Arius stacks up. 3 and 7 for the Quiet Carry Drift. VBR 3.5 and 8, and the Koenig Arius got about, yeah, I'm calling that 3.5 and 3.5, 8.5. Similar, of course, it's a taller blade than the VBR. Handles are similar, it's just a little bit longer. So I would definitely consider this a large knife, deceivingly large. Does not feel large in hand. Some of the most comfortable ergos. I think that between the VBR and the Arius, I mean, if you want to feel a knife with unbelievably good ergos, get a VBR or an Arius. Both incredible feel. They both have incredible feel in hand. Both of them kind of melt and mold into your hand, or at least they do for mine. Really, these are top 2 ergos. Unless I'm forgetting something. Am I forgetting anything? These are top 2 ergos for me. Top 2 all time. I mean, I have yet to feel a better, more comfortable knife than the VBR and the Arius. Now, let's go ahead and let's continue the ergos talk. Ergonomics feel amazing. Very comfortable. This little swoop, this little cutout, it can feel a little bit thin, at least at first for me. But I love the back section. That's what she said. Anyway, it feels comfortable. My hands are not slipping. Would this benefit from a little bit of jimping up here? I think so. Just a touch. My thumb, it feels like my thumb needs somewhere to land, but really comfortable. I can get a good tight grip. The flipper tab, although a lot of people do the flipper deletes, but I like the flipper tab on this. It's like a little bit of a guard. Phenomenal ergos for my hand. Now, another nice detail. There's a ton of nice, I just did a video like a day ago on another titanium frame lock that was just missing so many details, and this knife has almost all the details. I mean, some really cool little things on this. Number one, I love the blue anodized hardware. I like the captive pivot, kind of classy billboarding across there. It's etched in. Blade steel M390. Of course, we're working with a drop point blade. I was gonna say this is a flat grind, but it's fairly thin behind the edge. It almost feels like a hollow. Let's see. I don't know. It feels like a hollow grind to me. Someone leave a comment. Let me know. Now, as far as in pocket, I'm skipping ahead. There were a couple more details. One crazy detail, which I just discovered a few days ago. It's hard to see. Can you guys see? There you go. So it says Gen 4 Batch 6. Gen 4 B6. And that is in the scale in one of the internal milling pockets. And you don't see it until you deploy the blade. And then you can see which generation and which batch this knife came from, which I think that's just such a cool, well thought out little detail. Of course, we have kind of a modern, space age clip. Works just fine in pocket. This is an easy knife to carry, comfortable in pocket. I also like this little cutout. These chamfered edges, I cannot feel any sharpness on any of the edges, but I like this little cutout where I can flip and then my finger kind of lands into that space. It's just a very ergonomic knife. And ergonomic, it doesn't necessarily need to have all these curves and swoops and stuff. I feel like some of that is aesthetic, which is fine. It's a damn good looking knife, very like spaceship looking. But man, I don't even know what I was saying. I got distracted by the by the spaceshipness of this knife. I don't even know what I'm talking about. All right, anyway, let's go ahead and look at the the COA card. Birth date, October 21st, 2021. Model Arius, blade, M390, yes. Titanium, cool. They don't number the knives, or at least they didn't for this one, which I think is a little bit, well, I don't know. Everyone has their own stance on it. I would prefer a numbered knife. I think that's a cool little touch, but they have made so many of them. Maybe that's not the best idea. Hopefully this knife, it has not the detent has not really broken in that much. It may be a tiny bit, but I tend to, if I'm going to pick an Arius for the day to carry, I tend to go for one of the other models that I have. I have a milled one, and I also have a really plain Jane with that same kind of blasted finish on the scales, just because I want it to be comfortable all day, and this one is just a little bit stiff for me. Now, let's go ahead and I'm just looking at the internal milling. Really extensive, awesome. It's probably easier if I open the knife. All those internal milling pockets, looks great. Lock up solid. This, of course, runs on bearings. There's just not that many critiques with this knife. It's just a damn good knife. I mean, really, and it's interesting how the demand is just through the roof for these guys. I mean, they do these little drops, or they put a few on their website or for dealers, and like instantly they're gone. Same thing with the secondary market. If one of these goes up for sale, boom, gone. So for good reason. It's a damn good knife. Ergo's excellent fit and finish. The machining is amazing. You see the little bit of jimping on the lock side, on the lock bar, so I can go ahead and get that out of the way. Action, phenomenal. Not only deployment and detent, even though it's a little stiff on this one, but drop shut, guillotine, really, really, really smooth. I like this knife a lot. This is definitely a top 5 knife. Also, kind of a hot topic lately. This, of course, is American made. And the story behind Koenig is one that really means a lot to me, at least. And so I won't get into that in this video, but check out the story and how it all got started. And it's a really kind of touching, it's a really good story. So definitely look that up, Google that, how Koenig got started, and you know, let me know what you think of that. American company, American made. I'm not discriminating against any of my knives, but I do live in the United States, so it's great to see a just a really high quality, excellent knife. And I'm glad to have finally gotten one. I finally acquired the Arius, the elusive Arius. So I have a couple more Ariuses to do videos on. If anyone's interested, I will do probably shorter videos. This is kind of a long video, a lot of talking, but I will do at least short videos on those other two if anyone's interested. What a knife. These are not cheap, but for what it is, it's a pretty damn good deal as far as I'm concerned. They're right around $700, $750 if you have you know, carbon fiber or anything crazier, you know, variation wise. They might go up. I've seen, I think the DLC version was over, just a little bit over $1,000, but I think it's worth it, and it's one of those knives that is just kind of begging to get used and to get back in my pocket. And even though it's, you know, for a pocket knife, it's expensive, I'm really looking forward to carrying this and using this even more, even though I am, you know, done with my review process. So I think that just about wraps it up. Thank you guys for listening. And I have a ton more knife content, a lot more videos, a couple more coming up in the next few days that I think are really cool. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Thanks for watching. This has been Knife Standards. I will catch you later.